Welcome back to the 25 Days of Puppy Christmas Cards, where we're helping you to decide what you're going to do for your photo shoots and your Christmas cards this year. This one is incredibly simple. It's all about reindeer games, and it just requires a pair of reindeer antlers. Now, if you are going to be photographing at the same time as your dog, so if you're going to do this in a group pose, you're going to need more than one, and it's going to need to fit on your dog. It's going to need to fit on you as well. I do recommend getting the same kind, but if you want to mix it up, be a little eclectic, you can have different versions of reindeer antlers for everyone involved. The 25 Days of Puppy Christmas Card series can be done with one or many dogs, created with a traditional camera or your phone, done in your house or outside, and range from elegant and refined to fun and quirky, so there's a fit for everyone. And don't forget, these photo shoot ideas also make for great social media advent calendars, even if they aren't all going to be used on your Christmas cards. If you're using a traditional camera, I recommend you set up a remote shutter release through a clicker or an app on your phone so you can take photos from where you're posed. If you're using your phone, I recommend you set it to cinematic video and take screenshots of the best frames after, since pups tend to move around a lot and you don't want to stress over missing the shot. Each of these episodes is designed for a specific card template that will link in the caption, but you can use this on whatever template works best for you. Now, we are going to get several individual shots because we are doing that Brady Bunch style themed card. We want to make sure that we have 4 images or several images. So if you have a lot of dogs that you're going to be doing with this, you can expand it for more than 4. Or if you just have some really great photos of you and your pup, you can do this in a 4 spread, in a 6 spread, whatever you want. The card that I am creating is a 4 spread, and we're doing each of us individually. And so I will set up my camera. I am going to go ahead and put one puppy in front of it. I've set up my ring light. I'm doing this against a wall in my house that you do not have to go outside, or you don't have to have a studio. You can do this very easily. And with this one, I am just using my phone to show you how simplistic this is. I set my phone to record mode, and then I just film them because they're going to move around. The antlers may fall. They may not be comfortable with it if you haven't practiced with this before. So having that video going and then just creating the screenshots from there saves you a lot of time and a lot of stress on the back end of this. So you're going to set down each puppy, you are going to put the antlers on them, and you are then going to be able to photograph what you need for your card. We are going for those individualized windows. So if you are going to be taking photos with your puppy, just make sure that you have 4 to 6 different shots of you together with the puppies. You can be looking at different directions or at different angles. You can be changing how you've tipped your heads. You can be holding onto your antlers. You can do whatever it is that you need to do. If you have a wiggly puppy, it might actually work to your benefit to sit with them and then hold the antlers on their head. That keeps them still. It keeps them posed and looking to where they're supposed to be looking, and they don't have the range to go and run off on you or to potentially break your reindeer ears. Now, pro tip for you, if you do have a wiggly dog, a dog who is not used to this, or a dog you think is not going to particularly love this right off the bat, I would recommend doing yourself first because you're not going to break the antlers. So do your own first. You kind of understand how your lighting works and how your posing is going to work. Then do the puppies. And if you have multiple dogs, you're going to want to do the best behaved, the one you think will sit there like a deer in the headlights, or the one that is very good at listening to commands and staying in place. Do that first to the most wiggly dog, or the one that's not going to cooperate as much, so that it's, again, less stress and less effort on your part, and you do not have any potentially broken reindeer antlers in the game. Now, of course, for your reindeer antlers, you do have the ability to just grab those from any of your local stores. Dollar stores tend to have them, Walmart, Target, places like that. If you do not have them, you can make them. Or if you just want to have a little fun with this, you can even use your hands as those antlers, and you can just put them up, and you can put them on either side of your dog's head as well, because you can have as much fun with this as you want. You can see mine are sparkly. That's what we had in the store this year, so I ran with it, and I'm all about the sparkles. But you can go with felt versions. You can go with whatever it is that you need that is going to work best for you. And if you are doing this early on, you actually might be able to get some real looking deer antlers from Halloween stores. So it's always fun to go to Halloween stores after Halloween to hit those sales to get different antlers and different props that you can be using at really cheap prices for your Christmas cards if you're going to have fun with those. And so you want to make sure that you've got those individualized squares, and then you can add them to your card. Start by adding your photo to Photoshop or whatever program you're going to be using, and you're going to use your crop tool to turn it into a square. Now you can see I've left part of the floor there. We're going to create it like this for social media, and then I can crop it in closer if I need to. Now you're going to do any of your local adjustments. So if you need to sharpen the eyes or the puppy's nose, if you need to clean anything up on their fur, you can use your sharpening tool. You can use your spot heal tool. You can just make sure that everything is the way that you want it inside of your image before we pull back out. And then we are going to take a look at the rest of the image. So we're going to start off by pulling up a brightness and contrast panel. We are going to bump up the brightness as well as the contrast to make this a clear, crisp image. We want to make sure that it really pops before we change the color of the background. Now you can leave it just like this. It can be a white image if that's what you want. I would prefer to have it a little bit of a colorized pop. So I'm going to go ahead and save this image, and then I'm going to save it a second time to make sure that I have two separate files as I'm changing colors and I'm going to interact with it. You can do this as well, or you can just do it on one compressed image. From there, we are going to go ahead and we are going to use our quick selection tool to grab our subject. If those marching ants are outside the lines just a little bit, meaning it didn't get all of the subject or it picked up part of the wall, you can grab your lasso tool, and if you hold the shift button down, that adds it. So you can add in anything that it missed if it cut off part of your subject, and you can use the option key to take away. So if it grabbed part of the wall, you can just outline that little section and remove that. Now go up to the top toolbar and click select and go down to inverse. We want to make sure that we are focused on the wall and not the subject. Then you're going to go down and add a new layer. You're going to grab your paintbrush tool on a soft round brush, and you're going to grab your color for your background. I am choosing a green color here, and then we are going to adjust our layer settings. We're going to go from normal and we're going to move it down to color, and then we can back off the opacity to be the actual color that we need it to be. You'll notice that some of the pieces around the shadows are going to be a very dark, vibrant green. We want to back that off, so we're adding a layer mask, and then we are just going to use a soft round brush, and we're going to back the opacity on that one down to around 20 to 30%, and you're just going to tap off on the shadows or anywhere where it's too harsh green. And if you have it on the bottom, on the ground, or on that crown molding as well, you need to put that up at 100% opacity and just erase all of that off of anything that should not be tinged the color green. Once you're happy that your coloring is what you expect it to be, you are able to save that file and move on to the next image. Again, we're saving all of these in Square. We're going to use them again in just a few minutes to create our card. I like to leave previous files open so that I can see what opacity levels I had each layer at. So when I'm painting on my color, I'm using the same color every time, and then I'm going back to look at the previous file to see if the opacity levels that I have set each layer on match the first one. And then I look at them side by side to make sure they truly do match. Sometimes things photograph just a little bit differently and the colors can be slightly off. So I make sure that they, by eye, are matching and the way that I want them to look. Now, you can also do different colors for everyone. That is entirely up to you, or you can just use the wall as is, so pay attention to this as you are creating. If you're editing your own photos and you feel like you have dark shadows under your eyes, grab your clone tool, set the opacity to about 28%, and then you're going to tap it on your forehead to pick up that skin, and you're going to paint it under each eye with small strokes. That is going to illuminate it without changing the shape of your face, and that really makes your eyes pop just a little bit more. You can sharpen them, you can use your brightness and contrast to really pull up the color of your eyes to make sure that you are popping in your image as well. For your card, you're going to want to set up your template, either the 4 or the 6 spread, and you're going to make sure they are spaced out evenly, and then you've got colors behind them that pop. If you're creating this, what I did was use my color picker tool to grab the colors from the antlers and create that peppermint look in the background. And then of course you want to have your title and you want to have your space for where you're going to be signing it. You can either leave a wish or a message to people, or you can just sign your names. I like to sign names in order that they appear. So Gemma, Lucy, Ember, and then me inside of my cards. You can do it however you want. Now keep in mind that you can use this on any template that you want. You're just looking for one that has multiple squares on it that kind of has that Brady Bunch feel, and then a space to write that message. You can of course create this yourself. It is very easy for you to create your own themed cards, but it does take a little bit of work and a little bit of time. Now, if you really like the one that I have used and you would like to use the exact same one, I am linking all the cards in this series in the captions so that you can grab whichever one is going to suit your needs best, and you can design it from there. Those are really easy, drag and drop right in, and you're ready to go from there with my cards, but you can access them on whatever designing platform, or even some of the printers will have pre-made templates that you can be using as well to see which one is going to suit your needs best. Follow along because we are continuing the 24 25 days of puppy Christmas cards featuring your dog, your dogs, you and your dogs, or all of the things that you are going to be doing to show yourselves off this holiday season. From the elegant and refined to the fun and quirky, we've got something for everybody, and you're going to want to pay attention because these are also really good things you can be using on social media. They don't just have to be your Christmas cards. These can be really great, fun, Advent-y-like Christmas social media ideas. So follow along for all the episodes. Subscribe if you have not, and we will see you in the upcoming Christmas card episodes.